Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another Starcraft 2 commentary, this time round of 16 action in the GomTV Invitational Tournament prior to GSL Season 3. We have BabyByeBye, and then his opponent will be the Blue Terran Boxer, or SlayerSBoxer, and this is the original Boxer, the one and only. A lot of people have been mimicking his names, as we do have the fake Boxer, and we also have Boxer, but this guy is the man, the myth, and the legend, the Terran Micromaster. Typically using tanks and some very strange strategies, taking advantage of small groups of units to take down his opponent. We do have the Lost Temple map here, and the positions will be the west and east starting positions, so cross map. So what that tells me is we may see a bit more of a macro game develop here, as both players will be able to expand away from their opponent, and Lost Temple is pretty easy to get expansions up, at least in your natural, as there's a small choke point and you're able to protect it with the high ground. You can get stalkers or tanks up here and easily protect the natural. And then these watchtowers can also play a huge role if you can siege up around these watchtowers, really cut the map in half and control your portion, and then perhaps even push forward and siege into the enemy base. Do see Boxer just creating a refinery and a barracks at this point. We saw a scout coming out after the gateway for Baby, and he's going to see that they are on cross position shortly here. Boxer has not yet sent out a scout. Looks like just now sending out that SCV. Baby doing an immediate transfer over to that assimilator, so he will have enough gas once the cybernetics core comes up to get out both a stalker and start that warp gate tech. Good positioning on that second pylon, going to allow him to warp in units down on the low ground. And here's that cybernetics core, so no 2-gate opening for the Protoss. And he is scouting Boxer's base at this point. He does see that the one barracks is out, no add-on yet, and the first Marine is going to come out and shoo away that probe, going to deny any more scouting. Looks like we do have a Zealot on the way for Baby, and lots of people are not making that first Zealot. They typically wait until that cybernetics core comes up, get out that stalker as it is able to chase down and fire at the SCVs. But the Zealot is going to do its best to chase down this scout of Boxer. See 2 gases up for Protoss. That's something Protoss really wants to do, as he will be spending gas on a number of things in the early game. Warp gate tech, as well as it looks like a sentry coming out now. Also, Protoss tend to get on higher tech just a little bit earlier than their opponents. Looks like we do have an add-on on this barracks. It is a tech lab. A few Marines being rallied down to the choke of this natural, and a command center being prepared by Boxer. So we have a 1 Rax into fast expand for Boxer at this point. Protoss player not yet showing his build, just has that gateway and the cybernetics core up to this point. Sentry at the top of the ramp going to be able to force field and block off any sort of early aggression. We do see that Zealot positioning very intelligently here at the Zelnaga Tower. It's going to be able to see any other scouts coming in from Boxer, or perhaps any early pressure from these early barracks units. Looks like the 2 Marines and the Marauder are going to push out and take the tower of their own there. The command center almost complete. And I do not believe that Baby knows about this command center. It looks like he is getting up a robotics facility along with another gateway, so he will soon be on 2 gates. And they are spread out, though not quite spread out enough that a scan won't see all of the production structures of Baby at this point. More and more sentries coming out. Again, that's something that players are gravitating towards as the strategies develop here, getting out early sentries, and they will just start gaining mana there, and then once the 2 players meet in the mid game, all these sentries will be able to throw down multiple force fields. Looks like we had that probe did make its way into Boxer's base, so he does see that fast expand, and now he may be trying to save up a bit of minerals to throw down an expansion of his own. He does have a probe there. He's going to wait until the scan completes and then throw down the Nexus. So Boxer's going to believe he is on the 1 base at this point. Both players just getting their economies up and going. Very few production structures. We see Boxer getting up 3 racks, and he's also producing a factory at this point. If we look at the income tab, we have 28 harvesters for BabyByeBye compared to the 28 of Boxer. So about one harvester ahead, but with those mules, the Terran player is going to have the advantage economically. Stim on its way for Boxer, so we'll see whether he does some sort of timing attack with that stim. Looks like he's a little bit side-capped here. About to complete a supply depot, so taking that opportunity to throw down a tech lab when he is side-capped. We see the observer of Baby moving into the base of Boxer. He's going to be able to see all the production structures here. And then another observer going to be back in the base, making sure that there are no banshees coming that could be cloaked. Very smart idea to make 2 observers and keep at least 1 in your base in the early going against Protoss. We see now that he did see the production structures and he knows there's no starport for Boxer. He is moving across the map with that second observer, no longer needs to keep it at home. We have the second nexus up and going at this point, so it should be chrono boosting and pushing probes out of both these nexus, trying to get good saturation on the natural. If we look at the income tab, still pretty even worker count, around 36 for both players, but again, those mules making such a difference. If we look at the army count, is 1100 to 850. Stim is now complete for these Marines and Marauders. And looks like we have a few Vikings on the way for Boxer as well. So not quite sure what he's going to do with those Vikings yet. He did see the robotics facility. He might have scanned and seen the robotics bay, preparing Vikings to take down any sort of early Colossus we may see. No Colossus yet for the Protoss player. Instead throwing down Stargates. So he does see that those Vikings are popping out, and he may be going Stargates here to kind of counter the Vikings and whatever else comes out of that starport. Would have been a smart idea to make those medevacs first, as they will be able to gain energy. Vikings out on the field right now are not going to be able to do much. So anytime you have to make the choice between producing something that has energy and something that does not, and you're going to do it right after the other, make sure you get those medevacs out first. See an SCV able to make it pretty deep into the base of Baby at this point, though he has not seen everything that Boxer wanted to see, so he does throw down a scan. Again, that scan costing him about 300 minerals worth of a mule. See another 2 gates coming up, so we will soon be on 4 gates as well as 1 robotics facility, constantly pumping out, chronoing those Colossus. If we look at the income for both players, still pretty even, 46 to 44, but we see another command center being created by Boxer. He's being very macro heavy in this game, getting up that fast expand quickly, and then this third as well. Looks like we will see the Terran player moving out at this point. The army tab 2500 to 1400. This probe at the watchtower will see this coming though. Needs to take care of that probe before he sees the rest of the units. Probe's going to live to scout another day by retreating. It looks like we have a stim from just a few units here, and that's very smart, just taking your front units, stimming, taking down that probe so it will not cause any more trouble in the later game. And now Boxer really needs to take this opportunity to attack. His army is larger than his opponent, but now that Baby knows that this is coming, he's going to start pumping out of all these gateways. Looks like he is chronoing out these Phoenix as well. So the Phoenix, interesting choice. They are going to be able to take down these Vikings pretty quickly as long as he keeps the numbers coming, and then focusing down the medevacs, also very smart. It's going to prevent healing to the Marines and Marauders, really limit the amount of stim that can be used by Boxer. So it looks like Boxer is trying to get a bit of a transfer onto the gold at this point. Looks like we had a scan there taking down an observer. So SlayerSBoxer taking out, I believe both observers went down now. If we check the unit counting station, no more observers on the field for Baby. Now moving out with these 2 Colossus. He just finished his extended thermal lance, so these Colossus now have a range of 9, quite powerful, also working on air weapons level 1. So he wants to make sure he can own the skies and protect these Colossus with those Phoenix. So very interesting play. Oftentimes we see players going for Stalkers to try to take down the Vikings, but Baby has not produced a Stalker yet, and it looks like he is just going to be going Phoenix and then this ground army as well. And hopefully the Phoenix can take down the Vikings and the medevacs. We do check out the energy on these sentries. They're all at 200, so it's 16 force fields that could be thrown down. And again, you don't have to produce any more sentries for the rest of the game if you're able to produce them early enough and they bank a lot of energy. See, SlayerSBoxer does have a good split on his army right now, so any sort of storm's not going to catch too many units. Any Colossus is not going to be able to take down too many units. And now moving out, he does have 11 Vikings against the now 10 Phoenix, so not sure who's going to be able to rule the skies in this one. Those Vikings do have a range of 9. They do 2 attacks for 20 damage total. They do extra damage versus armored, but the Phoenix are light. Looks like the Phoenix have a range of 4, so not a lot of range. They are a little bit faster though, actually considerably faster, but they do their bonus damage against light, and the Vikings are armored. So we see these two players engaging now. The Phoenix trying to soften up the numbers of Vikings at this point. Again, no Stalkers on the field to take down those Vikings. The Phoenix doing their best to kite around so they cannot be focused down, and they are tearing up these Vikings. The Vikings are not able to take care of these Colossus. All those Vikings go down, just 3 left for SlayerSBoxer, and these Colossus will be able to rule the field uncontested if there are no Vikings. Now moving into the main base with these Phoenix, trying to take down SCVs before SlayerSBoxer can react with turrets here, as he did try to throw down a few turrets, but now raping the economy of SlayerSBoxer. All of those SCVs going down at the main there. But he had done a good transfer over to the gold and the natural, so not losing too much. More importantly, these Phoenix are going to be able to pick off the Vikings as soon as they pop out of the... oh no, what a mistake by Baby. Losing a few of those Phoenix as they move across the field and trying to retreat and take down the few Vikings that are still alive. Like to see speed coming out for these Zealots, as he is going mostly Zealots at this point, dumping all of his minerals in there. We see a few Stalkers coming out as well. And checking out these sentries, looks like a few of them are low on energy, but other ones still at 200, so more force fields in the bank. Poking forward at these medevacs with the Phoenix. And again, these 9-range Colossi so incredibly strong. We see a number of force fields going down, preventing reinforcements from the Terran player. These Phoenix taking a lot of the medevacs down, so no medevacs on the field for SlayerSBoxer. We do see a Twilight Council going down for Baby, so probably thinking that he needs to get either Blink or Charge at this point. These Phoenix doing number on these Vikings. So the Colossus kind of ruling the day here, able to take down a number of the reinforcing units as they pop out. One Colossus does go down, but now the Phoenix are going to be in good position to take down any more Vikings, and the Colossus just able to rip apart any units that pop out of these barracks. So it looks like SlayerSBoxer was on 8 barracks at the end there, and he actually had 4 starports, so perhaps trying to get enough Vikings to take on those Phoenix. But not something we often see from the Protoss player, getting out those Phoenix and just not making any Stalkers. So those Phoenix were able to support the Colossus, as Terran always goes for Vikings to take down the Colossus numbers, and the Phoenix, I was not sure how they were going to do against the Vikings, but that fast movement and fast attack speed and just the sheer numbers were able to rip apart the Vikings quite quickly, and then the Colossi owned the day and owned the barracks units of SlayerSBoxer. So this is a best of 3 series. There will be a game 2 coming up. SlayerSBoxer hoping to win that one and force a game 3, and BabyByeBye hoping to knock out the legend himself, the Emperor SlayerSBoxer. So I'll go ahead and bring you game 2 right now. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you there.